I have our company's financial status in this Excel book. I want to analyze it with the GPT-5. So I drag in this Excel book. Up in the left corner, I can see this model picker. Here we have a few options. There's the fast one. I'll pick that when I want quick answers. If I need a little bit more reasoning from the models, I'll choose the Thinking or Pro. But they will be kind of slow, especially the Pro. With the Auto, GPT-5 automatically real-time routes my prompt to the correct model. That is, if we give it an easy task, it will pick the fast. More reasoning required tasks, it will pick either the Thinking or Pro. So choose the Auto, and when you have demanding tasks, you can do like this and pick the Thinking. Then we want to give it a prompt. I prefer to talk to ChatGPT-5, so I hit this microphone. Analyze the attached Excel book. Use it to create an extensive report where you focus on both sales and salaries and expenses. Pay extra attention to the latest month, that is the July 2025. Here we have it, as you can see, much faster. This is also a little bit of a shallow prompt. It's not as extensive. With the new prompt optimizer from OpenAI, we can get even better. So what I do is to take my prompt here, Ctrl+X to cut it to my clipboard. Now we will open up the prompt optimizer. I'll open up a new tab and then I navigate to this URL. If it is your first time, you need to log in with your ChatGPT account. Up in the left corner, we can see optimize for GPT-5. We could also choose to optimize it for 41003. Then we go in here in the developer message. Ctrl+V to paste in our prompt. I could request what do I want to focus on with the optimization, or you can leave it blank. Hit optimize. Then the engine starts working. Now it will expand on our prompt so we get much better results. I will fast forward because this will take probably like 30 to 40 seconds. And here we have it. So what started, let me click the original prompt up here, from this is now this. This will give us much better results. Let me first copy all of this down to the last line. So I say Ctrl+C. This is recommended when you use it in ChatGPT, the user interface, because if you click copy, you will have everything on the same line. Then I go to my ChatGPT, say Ctrl+V. As you can see here, the prompt has got a lot longer. Hit enter. Then our report will be generated with the thinking because we chose that. Let us go back to the prompt optimizer while ChatGPT-5 thinking works. What happened here was that it improved our prompt. I can go here and then I can see a high level of what it's actually doing here in these different sections of the prompt. You can also go down here and have an extensive breakdown. So there's a reasoning behind the change to the prompt. It doesn't stop here. If you're for some reason not happy, you can go down here and say request changes and click optimize once more. I created a full guide to the prompt optimizer, which you will find up here in the corner. Enough prompt optimization. Now I go back to ChatGPT-5. Here you can see that it still works. So let's fast forward. And here it starts to produce the results. As you can see, it creates a plan on the steps it follows, and that is because, as you can see here, begin with a concise checklist, and then we have an executive summary where we will have a few numbers. As you can see here, there's a sales overview, a detailed table from 2025. As you can see, our July was a little bit silent compared to the other months. That's because it's vacation month. I've been on 3 weeks of vacation. I have an overview, a detailed table. As you can see here, it's not separated into salaries and expenses, at least not in this Excel book here. But there's the combined total. We have a few data quality notes, and you can also see that the reasoning effort is medium. That is how you use the prompt optimizer. Here are the best use cases for the new ChatGPT agent mode. To activate agent mode, you go to Tools, and then you should see agent mode. If it's not here, that means that you're not on a paid license. You need either a Plus, Team, Pro, or Enterprise. Now you want to click it to activate it. First, I want to plan a trip around Italy. Here I have a few constraints, such as hotel, food, and the likes. Finally, I want the product to be a downloadable itinerary, CSV file, and a public Google My Maps link. Let's get the agent started. First, it will prepare the task, and then it will spin up a virtual machine in a closed environment at OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. This is not a copy of your machine. This is a separate machine, and now you can see it starts working. It even documents what it does. Open up browser tab, doing researches, like you can see here, combining a lot of sources. It's using its deep research to come up with all this research while it clicks around in browsers. If I go down to this white bar here, I can scroll in the log. So this was one of the first tasks. I can move it a little bit ahead. And if I want the live view, I either move this one up to the right, or I simply just hit live. Then we can see what's going on. So we will leave it. It will probably ask us to log into Google at least the first time to finish the Google My Maps task. Let's fast forward over this. And here it pauses and asks me to log into the Google My Maps. So I hit login. Then I'm taken to the virtual computer where the agent mode has worked. Here you can see I can put in my email. So I will do that. Then I will hit next. I should put in my password here. Hit next. Then I am logged in. I will hit finish controlling. And then you can see up here that I took control. Now the ball is back to the agent mode. It will spin up the machine again, take over from my work, and then it will start to create the Google Maps with all the places it found to me. Let's fast forward once again while it works here at the Google My Maps. That's it. 30 minutes and my trip is planned. 3 cities, an itinerary in the requested CSV format. Let's try to open it. Looks fine. And let's try the Google Maps link. So I pop a tab and paste in the link. Here we can see it added all the different points of interest in the 3 cities. You can also see it grouped them in layers. So I can actually do this and only have the Rome destinations on. I can click on, for example, the Piazza San Marco that is in Venice. I can zoom in and see all the other points of interest, for example, Burano or Murano. Extremely impressive. Let's use agent mode to do online shopping. Again, I press Tools and Agent Mode to activate the agent mode. Now we want to shop a blanket on Etsy with a lot of constraints. I also want to add the top 3 blankets to our cart, and I want to find some URLs. Let's get the agent going. Again, it will prepare and then it will spin up a virtual machine where it can work in. So here it will start to put the items, it will do a research and then it will put the items in the cart. Here we have it. Let's fast forward again. And here we have the result. 3 blankets. We have the Indian throw, the soft warm, and the Christmas luxury. We also have the direct URLs. I can open up the link and inspect it here. Let me close it again. I can also click the worked for 42 minutes. If I click that, I can now see the visual log again with a lot of steps in. Go up and click the 3 dots here. If you click the activity, these are all the steps. There's a lot because it corrects itself whenever it sees something that could be wrong. Here was, for example, an overlay. It closes here. Really, really impressive. One other thing we need to do is to click the 3 dots. Here we can take over the browser. This is the browser where the ChatGPT agent worked. And here we have the card with the 3 items in. This is fantastic. The agent mode in ChatGPT can also build beautiful dashboards. Here I have the last year's spending, for example, the utility bill, gym membership, clothes store purchase, and a lot of other things in many, many rows. Let us close that. This Excel book is on my desktop. Then I go to ChatGPT and activate the agent mode. I click Tools, Agent Mode. I give it this task. Attached are my transactions containing my last 12 months of checking account activity. Categorize each line. Compute monthly totals. Generate an interactive Excel dashboard with pivot charts and slicers. And a PDF summary. Return both files for download. Then I will attach my transactions. So I hit Add Photos and File, Add Photos and Files, find the transactions on my desktop, hit Open. The file will upload. Now the agent will use that. Let's start. Again, it will prepare its task. Then the agent will spin up this virtual machine in the closed environment where it will work. Now you can see here it sets up the desktop and then the virtual machine will work. This, if I had to complete it, this would be a very time-consuming task. It will take a lot of time. Now it just creates Python code and a lot of other things to solve this task. Some of the things I might not be able to do, such as creating pivot charts if I was not good in Excel. Let's fast forward. Done in just 3 minutes. If I again go into work for 3 minutes, I can see how my agent has worked in a visual view. I can click the 3 dots and have the activity view for a more logish view, where it created the files, which sources it uses, and a lot more. If I collapse this again, then I have a summary. Here I have a monthly total, top 5 merchants. I spend a lot on rent and utility bills. I have some key insights. Then I have saving recommendations, negotiate housing, and I should monitor my subscription spend. Maybe the most important thing, that is the files. I have the PDF file here, and I have the interactive Excel dashboard. If I go click it here, I can say download. That will download the Excel dashboard and I can open the file. Let me maximize it and zoom a little bit in. We enable editing. First of all, we have a table with our spending. Looks a lot like we had before. Then we had a summary. We have it here. And maybe most importantly, we have the different charts here. Extremely, extremely impressive. I don't know how long this would have taken me, but it would have taken me a long time. Agent mode in ChatGPT can also read and send emails, schedule meetings, and even take files on, for example, Google Drive or Dropbox. Let's set everything up before we activate the agent mode. So I go to Settings here, then I go to Connectors, and let's first start with Gmail. We hit Connect here, then we will continue to Gmail. Here I getting a email on my ChatGPT email. This is the email that you set up your ChatGPT account with. Go check that and continue. Then we are taking to Gmail. Choose your account. Click continue a couple of times, and now you want to say read compose. Hit continue, and that is the first step. Now we can use Gmail with ChatGPT. You can see it works in agent mode. We will do the same thing for Calendar and add Google Drive as well if you want access to your files. If you see both Gmail and Google Calendar here in Enable Connectors in Settings, then you are complete. We can close down the settings. Then we will open up Agent Mode by clicking Tools, Agent Mode. Here I have a task, so I say Ctrl+V. We will schedule a 30-minute project sync between Stine and Anders, and of course the account. Here you can see check my Google Calendar for conflicts, propose the earliest common slot, create the event, send each participant a concise friendly email. What I also want to do is to click this sources. I want to enable Gmail and Google Calendar with my agent. Otherwise, agent will use its virtual desktop and here it will prompt us to log in. But since we already connected it, this is the way to do it. Take care that you don't share any private data. This is what this warns us about. Then we can send in the prompt. Now agent mode starts working for us. It will again spin up a virtual machine and do all the work for us. This is extremely nice, as these tasks always take a lot of time. Imagine that we do this over and over. You're a busy person. Here we have it. Let's fast forward. Here it comes back, having checked my calendar. I have a tennis event from 9 to 10 and a meeting at 13 to 14. The 9 to 12 windows otherwise free. Then it asks me to schedule a meeting here and send out the invitations. I just say yes, please. Then I send agent mode back to work on its virtual computer. Let's again see it starts up. Here it is. And let's fast forward. For some reason here, it wants me to sign in to my calendar. I only need to do that once. I can say take over. Then I type in my password again. This is just a demo account, but type in my Gmail and also my password like this. Then once that is done, by the way, this is the next week it needs to schedule in. Then I say finish controlling and it will start to schedule the meeting on the Google Calendar. Let's fast forward. And here you can actually see it's navigating in my calendar. It says the notification to 1 day. That was the 24-hour. It also scheduled the time and now it's doing the title. It needs to add guests. Let's see if it can do that. It's actually doing it. Wow, this is impressive. So here it even recognizes that and now it clicks save. Wow, this is going to be huge. Now I can do all my office tasks inside the agent mode. The new study mode in ChatGPT-5 is an interactive learning tool instead of just giving you the answers. You will find it by clicking plus here, say more and choose study and learn. Let's tell it about what we want to learn. I want to learn about the new GPT-5. Then you will see it starts asking me question instead of just giving me the answer. So here you can see that is it like a student? I can say I want to understand it as a, for example, a non-technical user. It will say fine and then it will start teaching me. It's the next generation. It's better at understanding context and it constantly follow up here. We can use GPT-5 either through a browser or through API. To set everything up, you navigate to platform.openai.com. Now we will start setting up and using the GPT-5 APIs. Up in the upper right corner, you can click sign up if you want to create a new account. If you already have an OpenAI or ChatGPT account, you can just click login here. Then we will fill in our email address. I will fill in mine, you will fill in yours. Also fill in your password. Then it looks like this. Make sure you are in the docs, and if it's your first time logging in here, you will click Start Building up here and fill in a few information about yourself, and then you will get back to this. Over to the left in Docs, we can click the Using GPT-5. Here we will have an introduction, we will have a quick start, and we will have a model name reference. So we will start using these different GPT-5 models. For example, if we want to use the GPT-5 thinking, then we will use the GPT-5 as an alias, that is to refer to the model. Similarly, if we want to use the GPT-5 main, we will use the GPT-5 chat latest. Then we will use this code as you see up here. We have a few information that we will use. First, we have an endpoint, that is to say, at what API do we want to use? This is the address to the OpenAI's APIs. We have two headers. We have the content type with its value application.json. This is just to say in which format is this payload in. That is in a JSON format. You can see it's a JSON because of this starting curly brackets and the end curly brackets and its key value pairs, where the key is the model, value is GPT-5, input, and the value is write a haiku about code. So we will use all of this information to do the API call. This is smart because then we can start to automate stuff. Instead of pasting every single query into ChatGPT in the browser, for example, let's say I want to use it to reply to customer emails, then we can automate everything. So we can, for example, process 100 customer emails per day. And that is what we're about to do here. We can also analyze reviews, create reports, or whatever we want. Then I can go over to the left menu again. Now I will up here in the Get Started, click the pricing. Here we can see the pricing. Since we're using the GPT-5 models, we can see how much they cost. This is the input, that is when we send stuff, and the output is when it processes data. This can seem like a lot, but this is per 1 billion tokens, which is approximately 750,000 words. So you can also see that this GPT-5 mini is really cheap and the nano is even more cheap. So that's what we're going to use. If this is your first time, you will need to add a few credits. You can just add like $10. You will do that by going up in the upper right corner, click Settings. Then you go to Billing, and here you will add to credit balance. As you can see, I added $10 like half a year ago, and I only used this. So with that in place, we can start to use the information. So let me navigate back a few times to the Using GPT-5. We will start using this. We will test that everything works here. We will do that in an API test program, which is free, called Postman. If you never heard about Postman, there's a setup guide here. It's extremely easy. So I will use postman.com. I have the free version, absolutely fine. We do this just to test that everything works, because then we can use this API and its information in whatever environment that we want to use it in. I go up to workspaces. Here I can use one of my existing ones or create a new. Let's create a blank workspace. We'll click Next. We will give it a name. I will call this one GPT-5 Demo and hit Create. Now we want to do an HTTP request, so I click New. So the workspace, yeah, that is the main folder, and here we create the API call. The method is post. That is, we want to post some data, we want to send in our prompt. First we need the endpoint, that is the URL. We have that in the documentation. Add it here. So I just click Ctrl+C to copy this and paste it over here. And then we move to headers. And we just do this, copy paste. Ctrl+C, go back here. That will be the key. And then the value, that was the application /JSON. I prefer to copy paste because then we make no errors. If we make a typing mistake here, then the API call would not work. And then we have this bearer OpenAI API key. This is a placeholder, so we will need to fill it in with our own API key. We will, of course, do that. First, move to body. This is what we send to the API. We have it here. So make sure you take the curly brackets, but not the single quotation mark. Then we paste it in here. We will use a different model. As you can remember, this was the most expensive one. So we can change that. The Nano was the cheapest ones, but I think I will just use the Mini here. So I'll just copy this and up here in model, we will paste it in. Now we can write a haiku dict. Feel free to use that, but I think we will make a more appropriate example. So here I will say, analyze the sentiment of this review. Return only the sentiment review. And then I will say the review is here. Then we will paste in our review. I prefer to do it in single quotation mark. When we want to scale it, let's say we get 10 business reviews every day. And by the way, if you want to review this video and find it useful, please give it a thumbs up below. Thank you. So this will vary. For here, we will just make it fixed to see that it works, but it's easy to put into scale. Let's find a review. I will go to Google Maps and then I will search for Anders Jensen org. If I do this, I can go to the review tab. These are all reviews from my organization. Let's just grab this, Ctrl+C, then we go back here, and between these single quotation marks, we paste in the review. This is what we need to have analyzed here, and yes, this will vary because we get a lot of different reviews. Now we go back to the headers because we still need an API key. Let's find that. So we go back here, and again you click these settings, go to API keys. Here you will find your API keys. You will click create new secret key either here or up here. We can give it a name. I can call this YouTube video demo or whatever I want to call it. I could choose to have a project and then I can create the key. Keep in mind that this is the only time you can access the key. So when I click copy here, it's in my clipboard. If I click done, it's gone. You can always delete API keys over here. For example, if I want to delete this, I will just delete it or create new ones. Then I go back to Postman. And instead of this $sign and OpenAI API key, I say Ctrl+V. Keep in mind that if you share this API key, other ones can use your credits. So yes, I will delete this API key once this video is over. Then we can click send. Now this response, this prompt here will get processed. So if I go back here, we can see the response. What you want to go into is into the output, the content. And here you can see that this text, that is the output, that is positive. That means that this was positive sentiment. If we want to see that we can actually change this and use different prompts, just go up here, delete everything again, and then we can say, what's the capital in India? So we can give it all sorts of tasks. Now you see that the capital of India is New Delhi and a lot of other information about Delhi. If you want to put this into scale, that is to make multiple API calls, then I've created this video. You can fast forward to 31 minutes and 35 seconds if you only want to have the scaling, but I recommend watching the whole video.